Hi, this is Madeline Betts here to present my Module 5, Barriers to Web 2.0. To get started, I like to summarize some of the articles that were in this section. A lot of these articles really hit on the key points and the advantages and disadvantages of having technology in your school and classrooms. I related to most of them because I felt that my level of technology is at that supplementing stage. I use technology to fill in the gaps of my lessons. I like to use an iPad to enhance maybe a specific part or piece of a lesson rather than using technology for the whole lesson. I really enjoyed listening and reading more about these open resources. That specific article provided tons of free and creative ways to use technology with your curriculum. It allowed me to research more into that, go a little bit more in depth. And it talked about the challenges and the challenges that families and teachers are being faced with when having technology as a key part of their maybe the child's learning. Technology and internet access is not available for everyone. I really enjoyed the article of The Divide about how many families don't have access to internet access, and they are using free areas to do so, which can take a long time for people to use what they need to use. Going into the divide, I think that the digital divide can be resolved over some time. This is not something that can take a year or two. It takes some time. I think that the digital divide right now is very similar to the introduction of cell phones. Cell phones at one point were very hard to get. Not everyone had them, and now you're seeing more and more of them, and more people having access to them. I think that with the research to support what the positive outcomes and the advantages of technology, more and more maybe low-cost supplements will be coming out to support families in order to have technology or internet in the home. I made a point that teachers do stick together. They work very hard. It's a lot of collaboration. So with some time and effort and collaboration, that can help with the digital divide. Some skills I feel that the 21st century students may require before graduation is critical thinking and problem solving, really solving problems on their own, being able to think deeper into how to get a solution. I enjoy this picture here over on my slide. Kind of shows the gears, and I think that that really has to do with the 21st century learning style. There's a lot of moving parts in order to come to a solution. A lot of creativity. Students are being faced with more challenges that require them to use more creativity when creating and solving problems and working together. Collaboration is huge. You have partners in life, and you have to learn at a young age to start working together as a team and building upon another person's skills and using your skills to help another colleague or a peer. The impact that the global economy has had on my personal use of internet, with smartphones and computers, you can pretty much do anything you want on them, and the use of internet is huge and key now. I really enjoyed this picture. It kind of like shows your top go-tos when you go online. Pinterest, as a teacher, I'm sure a lot of other teachers use it to get ideas and inspiration. Facebook, people are using more social media apps. Social media has become a huge trend. I know in my generation, that is the way people keep in touch with others. The internet has also played a huge role now in job searching. You can search for jobs, look for them, apply, speak to other people. You can do interviews on the computer using the internet. So it really has opened up a lot of doors to many different opportunities. Personally, I think that I require a little bit more technology training to really integrate more into my job. I work with young children, ages 3 to 5, and I think some training on specific technology that can be used for those students would be very helpful. Sometimes it's not as easy to just adapt a laptop for a 4-year-old. And because my job is very on the go and constantly moving, I don't have a space to put things down and set up with a screen or a projector. I like to call these on-the-go devices. Currently, we are using only the iPad, and that is technically our on-the-go device. It is great. I think more training on ways to incorporate that more would be extremely helpful, just to build more confidence in order to start integrating them. Technology in my school, I had to put a little sad face because I wish there was a little bit more of it. The technology that we use for professional development and leadership training is huge. We have projections, we have devices that record and video record speakers. They are motion detected, so the cameras will follow them as they walk to pick up everything. This is great for people that may not be able to attend certain professional development trainings, or if we want to share our trainings with local community and other local schools. We are equipped with iPads, like I said, and lots of assistive technology. With special education, we use a vast, lost my thought. We use a lot of assistive technology in all different ranges, from having kids talk to adaptive keyboards for when they get older. Unfortunately, I don't work with those students in the grade level, but for right now, I'm working with students that are using the iPads for talkers and to communicate their wants and needs, and sometimes even to activate simple things around them. We use Google primarily for email, scheduling, for sharing documents, keeping informed with other things that are going on in our community. And we use a lot of online softwares. These softwares help us track student data. It helps us schedule. It helps administration see what students have what needs and where. Some advantages of innovative practices in school, I really think would be creativity. It's huge. Kids my age, they're learning how to use more creativity around them in the classroom. They have to create things given only certain materials, and that includes a lot of independence. Using more independence in school is key. Kids should be doing more things on their own, and learning that is building more confidence, more participation, and more experiences to real life activities. The picture on this slide, I think, is perfect. The kids are using yoga balls for chairs, and they're all using computers, but they also have access to the smartboard in front of them that may be helping them guide their learning on the laptops, and the teacher's moving more freely around the room. This is a lot of independence and being able to still have support when needed. Some disadvantages of this would be the cost and the funding to get these supplies and materials in your classroom. Not all organizations and schools can afford to staff students with laptops or even have smart boards in the classrooms. The cost of using more Wi-Fi or more high-speed internet is hard. And also spending time on training. Teachers need to be trained on how to do these things. They should be trained on using the apps, the software, the technology, the devices, and being able to have ample time before administering and using them in their room. Teachers don't always get too many personal professional development days. I know in my organization we have staff development once a month that could last an hour or it could last 5 hours. So sometimes it's hard to get the time to learn these things. Monitoring students can also be a disadvantage. Being able to know and understand if the students are having a strong knowledge of the concepts and the activities and the tasks that's being taught. I know there are a lot of softwares that can be used where the teachers get results of the students' academic performance, but using technology, students have access to a lot more things than they would in a textbook. So it's hard to know if it's something that they found on the internet or if it's something that they really understand. Social media is also becoming more of a disadvantage now with students younger. Excuse me. It can promote some bullying in schools and kids feeling uncomfortable with using the technology. With younger peers, I think social skills, their social interactions is key. And sometimes if technology is being overused, it limits their time to interact with peers and keep developing and strengthening their social skills. Another disadvantage that I read was handwriting. It's not something you think about all the time, but writing things will still be around and will still be a huge aspect. And technology requires students to mostly type, and some students are not being properly working on handwriting skills. My experience with cyberbullying is none. I have not really had any experience with cyberbullying just because of the age of my students. My students, again, are 3 to 5 years old. They are not on the internet. Most of them do not know how to spell. So they're not typing out mean things and they're not engaging in inappropriate behaviors. My experience with the inappropriate use of the internet is YouTube videos. I surprisingly have a lot of students that have iPads to help them talk. These iPads stay on them at all times. They have specific apps that they are using to communicate their wants and needs. And many times they find themselves getting out of those apps and watching YouTube videos. They know how to navigate it and they know how to get to the internet and they can get it done when they need to. So making sure that the iPads are locked on the screen is very important for me, and I stress that to a lot of my colleagues as well. And that's it. Thanks so much for listening and have a good one.